So, based on the view counts alone of videos I've done about sling bags and sling mods, I can tell that you all like slings. So if I like slings, and you like slings,
did we just become best friends? Yup!
Well, because you lovely people seem to be on the same wavelength as me about this, when Matt over at Around Square, another favorite and staple of the channel, asked me if I wanted to check out their newly released sling, I of course had to oblige.
Oblige him!
So stick around as we deep dive into one of the newest products from this truly unique company, because I'm also going to give you 5 reasons why you should carry a sling. Of course, this applies to just about any sling, but we're going to be talking about this one in particular. And my favorite reason is at the end. So for the uninitiated, Around Square is a company run by fellow Canadian Matthew Hebert, who back in 2017 or so took a chance on me when I asked if he could please send me a set of Titan Beglari to review on my channel. And Beglari are a super simple skill toy, Greek in origin, that are basically 2 beads and 1 string. And since then, I've reviewed a ton of Around Square's ever-evolving line of products. Some I have bought myself, and some that Matt had very generously sent over for me to check out. But in that evolution, Around Square itself has evolved its product line beyond Beglari, with items that branch into the everyday carry or EDC world. And well, if you carry stuff, you're going to need something to carry it in. So guys, reason number 1. Ever since I started using a sling bag, my pockets have been on a diet, and I think they're a lot more happy. And that might be one of the first things you'll notice is how comfortable again it is to have empty pockets. And that's where something like the Around Square Clutch Sling comes in. And yes, it's a clutch sling because you can use it either way. Like with all of Around Square's products, what you're going to get here is something that has been distilled down to the very basics of what it needs to be and needs to do, without a ton of bells or whistles. So I've shown some very fancy sort of techwear slings on this channel before, so this would be the opposite of that with a much more minimalist approach. So as we get into the meat and potatoes of my reasons, let me show you the externals of this sling before we open it up and get into that next point. Now in terms of materials, we have black waxed canvas. I think that's an excellent choice as it is a natural fiber, and the fact that it is waxed adds to its durability, but that also does lend to a bit of water and weather resistance to the bag. Not a whole lot, but maybe just a little bit. Now there is one caveat with this material, and Matt has addressed this, and it's that the waxed canvas does leave a bit of residue on whatever you put in the bag. So if you're going to carry a paper notebook or notepad, there is a chance that paper could absorb some of the residue and leave some faint oil spots. Now I noticed this after carrying my phone in the bag, and some of that residue was on my phone screen from putting it in and taking it out. So not a big deal as it wipes off easily, and one thing you can do to lessen this, as prescribed by Matt, is to just stuff some paper towels in the bag for a little while to absorb a bit of that excess. And one more point of interest on the outside is the loop panel on the front that allows you to stick your favorite morale patches and ranger eyes, which Around Square does also sell separately, and these PVC ones glow in the dark, which is super cool. So you can personalize your sling beyond what you're putting in it. And behind that is one outer zippered pocket. Speaking of which, we've got very high quality silver toned hardware and zippers that all operate smoothly. The zippers aren't super rattly, but if you want, you could add a bit of cord to them to reduce that rattle. Now, what's inside? Well, it's actually my second reason, and it's an important one, is that sling bags keep everything organized. So you never have to do that thing where you pat down your jacket or pants pockets to find what you need. And speaking of organization, inside here we have one large main compartment with 3 smaller side pockets that are open at the top, and then to the sides 2 small slots and 4 narrow slots for your various EDC tools like pens, flashlights, and knives. So I've got mine appropriately kitted out with the AO2 base knife, the King of Flow fountain pen in Ultim, and an Olight i3T. And as for my personal setup and how I carry stuff in here, this is pretty much it. I'll keep my phone in the main compartment and wallet in the largest side pocket. And then of course I have hand sanitizer and chapstick. As for the third small side pocket, if I'm carrying a skill toy like a Beglari, Knucklebone, or Chetki, I'll throw that fun stuff in there. I usually only have one though. And by the way, Matt has gone on record to say that this sling isn't designed specifically to carry skill toys, it's meant to carry what you need. Now the size of this sling is just big enough for me and what I need, but if you like to carry extra stuff like small cameras, tablets, or even eyeglasses cases, this might be a bit too small for that. And hey, I know not all of us carry a lot of stuff, but some of us are pack rats and we'd rather have our stuff and not need it than need it and not have it.
Which leads me to my third reason. Using a sling can actually save you a bit of time. No need to load up your pockets before you head out. Everything is already in the sling, ready to go. And for me, usually all I have to drop in is my phone.
And speaking of carrying though, as for the carry method, so I've mentioned that this is a clutch sling earlier, and that is because you can carry this a couple of ways. Now my preferred method is using this as a sling because I like going hands-free, but the strap that it comes with hooks onto the back of the bag via these hooks, which are super secure because the loops are sized very tightly, and I've had no issues with this bag unhooking by accident. The strap length has stayed in its adjusted position, and I haven't had to readjust the length or mod the strap with Paracord to keep it from changing, which is great. However, that all being said, if you want to carry it in clutch mode, you can remove the sling, and there is a hand strap here which aids with that option, should you choose it. Now I use this strap to clip a Hero Clip carabiner onto my sling so that I can hang it from hooks, tables, or chairs if needed. The only other additional piece of hardware that I have attached is this hub clip from Alpaca for my keys. But if I want my keys to be stored more securely, I'll shove them in the front pocket, which I do keep empty.
And speaking of security though, which is actually my fourth reason, I kind of feel like having everything in my sling in one place keeps it a bit more secure.
Some may argue that having all your valuables like this means it's easier for someone to grab it off of you, which I can see an argument for. But I think it would be easier for someone to pickpocket my phone or wallet from my pocket rather than from a sling bag on my chest that requires a zipper to access it. I mean, if the sling bag is right in front of me, I can always keep my hand and arm over it.
And finally, my fifth and favorite reason, sling bags themselves have fast become their own rabbit hole and community. Yes, nerding out over bags is an actual hobby, and it's fun.
So if you're looking for something fun and interesting and also practical to get into, I would say that getting a sling bag can become your new obsession or hobby. And this could be where you start, or if you're already a fellow sling bag enthusiast, I think this would make a great addition to your collection.
Your lightsabers will make a fine addition to my collection.
So, final verdict on this sling? Well, I love it. This sling works perfectly for me, and the quality is definitely here as with all Around Square products. And everything is stitched very nicely and strongly. I think if you're looking for something minimalist looking, less techy or flashy, I would say perhaps even a bit more old school. This sling is for you. Oh, and Matt has also very generously shared this discount code for you to get this sling bag right now at launch pricing. So check it out, link is in the description.